Hey guys, this is Bharat and welcome to Bharat's Kitchen with restaurant style chicken fried rice. Now, the difference between a restaurant style fried rice and a home style chicken fried rice would be in the treatment of rice. You see, in restaurants, even when they cook in a wok with a lot of movement, still the rice is unbroken, it's long grain, and whereas at home, even when you go with your traditional method of 70-80% of cooking, keeping it in the fridge, and then also cooking in your kadhai and still breaking all your rice. But to get good results, there are certain ways which people follow, and that's what I'm trying to show in this recipe. Okay, so let's begin with it. So first we're gonna start by chopping our chicken and marinating it. And as I've already told you in so many videos, that is, if you look closely, you'll notice these threads or these lines. And the worst thing that you can do is cut opposite these lines, which will result in your chicken losing moisture easily and becoming dry. But if you cut along these lines, you'll have a better chance of getting more tender chicken. Now you see this. All the structure are kept intact, and this will help the protein to retain more moisture even when they are cooked on a high flame. Alright, now to marinate the chicken, I've just taken egg white of a single egg with some ginger garlic paste and some salt and pepper. And finally, I've added some cornstarch. Just mix everything together and let the chicken sit in the marinade for about 30 minutes. In the meanwhile, let's prepare the other stuff that we're gonna need. So you're just gonna need to chop some veggies. Now the vegetables that I am using are some onions chopped roughly, also some capsicum, some green onions, and yes, I've divided the greens from the whites. Further comes in some beans, some carrots, and finally, you're gonna need some finely chopped ginger and garlic. Now remember, ginger and garlic paste will never give you that taste that freshly chopped ginger and garlic will. Now, already told you a thing or two about rice in my vegetable fried rice recipe. And for those of you who haven't watched that video, so basically the treatment is very simple to make the rice more stiff, more firm, and separated. The initial process is the same. You need to soak a good long grain rice in some water for about 30 minutes. And then you need to boil them to the point till they are about 70 to 80% cooked. So in my pan, I've taken some water, and when it starts to boil, I've added ample amount of salt. Remember, this is the only time that you can flavor the rice, so add good amount of salt. Then add our soaked and drained rice in the water and let it boil. Now, as I've told you, you need to cook them till they're about 70 to 80% cooked, and you can see that the rice is still breaking and it's not mushy. So this is the point till we want to cook the rice, and now quickly drain the water from the rice, and you need to wash them with some ice cold water. Now I know the question in your mind is that why do we need to wash the rice, Bharat? You see, the ice cold water will take care of the excess starch present, and also it will make the rice non-sticky. But we still have to take care of the outer shell of the rice, which has some leftover cooked starch. So we basically need to dry that out. So now I've taken my steamer and just line it with the cloth. You basically need to steam the rice for about 10 minutes, and this is just an optional step, but this makes the big difference between a home style cooked rice and a restaurant style oriental recipe.
Let's go.
You can see that the rice has become a little dry and quite separated, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, moving on. After 10 minutes, again rinse the rice with some ice cold water, and now you can treat the rice the same way you treat your noodles. So I'm gonna pour some oil and just mix everything together, and don't worry, the rice will not break. You can see how the rice is separated and unbroken, and that's what the process will give you. Alright, the last thing that you're gonna need are 2 eggs, in which I've just added some black pepper and some salt. Beat them together well, and now it's time to cook. So I've kept my wok on a super high flame, and first add some oil. And we're gonna cook the eggs first. Now the trick of flipping and mixing with the wok is not to move your wok up and down, but rather to move it back and forward. Now since we're cooking on a very high flame, your eggs would be cooked in just 2 minutes. So be careful of that. So when the egg is cooked, take the egg out and again add some oil to the wok. And now add your marinated chicken. You need to fry the chicken on a high flame, and to make sure that the chicken is not overdone, you need to keep stirring. Now when the chicken is almost done, add the chopped onions and the spring onion whites and keep stirring. Now most of the restaurants add the egg at the end while serving, but I like to add it at this point because I like to chop it into bits. But anyways, I leave it totally up to you. But make sure at this point you also add your ginger garlic paste and cook for about 2-3 minutes. Now add all the leftover veggies, that is chopped carrots, bell pepper or capsicum, beans, and if you're using cabbage, then also add that as well. Now you need to cook everything for about 4 to 5 minutes on a high flame and make sure you keep stirring. At this point, add our parboiled and steamed rice. And also add some salt, black pepper, some vinegar, some light soy sauce, and I've also added some chili garlic paste. And if you want to make it a little more oriental, then add some hoisin sauce as well. Now just mix everything together thoroughly, and while mixing, you'll realize it yourself that due to the treatment that we've done to the rice, it will not break. The final ingredient that you're gonna add are some green stalk of the spring onion and some sesame oil. That's it. Just mix everything together and your restaurant style chicken fried rice is ready. So if you look closely, you can see my rice is still unbroken, and that's even after so much bashing. So there you are guys, how to cook restaurant style chicken fried rice. As always, you'll find all the list of ingredients and their measurements on my website, and if you want to use the products that I use, then you'll find all the links given in the description bar down below. And yes, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया मेरे हिंदी चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करने के लिए. Do subscribe here as well. Until then, I'll see you all next week.